Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is June 4th, 2018. And now, the news at noon.
According to the Durango Herald, with a photo by Jerry McBride with the Herald, steep and rugged terrain made building containment lines difficult for crews fighting the 416 fire 10 miles north of Durango on Sunday. And though rain was a welcome sight for everyone, it had no impact on the fire, according to authorities. The blaze remained at 2,255 acres and 10% containment Sunday night. Almost 400 firefighters are working on the fire. The fire advanced from the Hermosa Creek drainage, prompting a pre-evacuation notice for 261 homes and businesses in the North Hermosa area on the southwest side of the fire. The pre-evacuation notice is for homes and businesses from Mead Lane, known locally as Comedy Lane, in Hermosa, north along County Roads 201, 202, and 203. The pre-evacuation area extends north along the west side of the U.S. Highway 550 to its intersection with County Road 250. This includes the Pine Acres and Whispering Pines developments. The pre-evacuation notice issued Sunday is in addition to the 825 homes already evacuated and 760 homes under pre-evacuation.
From the Journal, photo credit Emily Rice. 2 people were injured Friday afternoon in a collision at the intersection of U.S. Highway 160 and County Road 34, about a mile from the entrance to Mesa Verde National Park. The Colorado State Patrol, Montezuma County Sheriff's Office, Mancos and Cortez Fire Departments, and Southwest Health ambulances were all called to the intersection about 2 p.m. in response to a 2-vehicle crash. 1 person was extricated by rescue crews, according to Cortez Assistant Fire Chief Sean Biddle. A Flight for Life helicopter arrived at the scene about 3 p.m., but Mancos firefighter Ray Aspromonte said both patients were transported by ambulance to Southwest Memorial Hospital. State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll identified the drivers as Gene Hughes, 71, of Montezuma County, and Brandon Pino, 25, of New Mexico. Hughes was reportedly turning left onto eastbound US 160 in a white Hyundai when Pino, who was traveling west in a black Chevy, T-boned his vehicle. Cortez and Mancos firefighters helped to remove Hughes from the vehicle. Hughes was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Driscoll said he wasn't sure how badly Tino was injured. About 2:30 p.m., Biddle said the highway was closed in both directions at the intersection, but at 2:51 p.m., scanner chatter revealed only 1 lane remained closed. Traffic began to move freely in all lanes by about 3:30 p.m. Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin said deputies conducted traffic control just after the accident. Driscoll said most of his troopers were busy responding to the 416 wildfire 10 miles north of Durango, so troopers from Montrose were investigating the crash site about halfway between Cortez and Mancos. The crash remains under investigation, and Driscoll said he wasn't sure whether charges will be filed against the drivers.
According to the Durango Herald, 4 more deaths have been linked to a national food poisoning outbreak blamed on tainted lettuce, bringing the total to 5. Health officials have tied the E. coli outbreak to romaine lettuce grown in Yuma, Arizona. The growing season there ended 6 weeks ago, and it's unlikely any tainted lettuce is still in stores or people's homes given its short shelf life. But there can be a lag in reporting, and reports of illnesses have continued to come in. In an update Friday on the nation's largest E. coli outbreak in a decade, health officials said 25 more cases have been added, raising the total number of illnesses to 197 in 35 states. At least 89 people were hospitalized. Previously, 1 death had been reported in California. On Friday, health officials said they had learned of 4 more, 1 in Arkansas, 1 in New York, and 2 in Minnesota. The first illnesses occurred in March, and the most recent began on May 12th, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Many of the new cases were people who became ill 2 to 3 weeks ago when contaminated lettuce was still being sold. Some said they did not eat romaine lettuce, but were in close contact with someone who got sick after eating it. Most E. coli bacteria are not harmful, but some produce toxins that can cause severe illness. People who get sick from toxin-producing E. coli come down with symptoms after 3 to 4 days after swallowing the germ, with many suffering bloody diarrhea, severe stomach cramps, and vomiting. Most people recover within a week, but some illnesses can last longer and be more severe.
From the Journal, photo credit Jim Mimiaga, the town of Dolores continues its recent turmoil. Interim Dolores town manager David Stahl Sr. abruptly resigned last week after alleging that 3 town board members violated Colorado Sunshine Law while preparing for an interview process for town positions. It was unexpected and unfortunate, said Dolores Mayor Chad Wheelis of the resignation. We need a town manager, and hiring one will be a priority. Stahl hailed from the Front Range and had worked as a town manager for multiple Colorado towns. He also had a business background. He was hired in February as the interim manager under an 18 to 26-week contract and was interested in a long-term contract. Stahl replaced Lana Hancock, who had been working double duty as town manager and town clerk, and now continues as clerk. She is currently running in the primary in Dolores County for the Dolores County clerk position. On Tuesday, Stahl submitted a letter of resignation to the town board effective at 5 p.m. and claimed inappropriate communication between board members regarding a procedure to interview candidates for town attorney and the Planning and Zoning Board. At the May 14th Board of Trustees meeting, the town board decided to hold the interviews in public at the May 29th workshop. Upon request on Friday, Wheelis provided the Journal with Stahl's resignation letter and the disputed emails. In his resignation letter, Stahl said discussion of a rating system for applicants of the vacant town attorney and planning board positions should have been done during a scheduled public meeting. He stated that it was improper for 3 members of the Board of Trustees to discuss, much less agree, to a process without the participation and approval of the majority of the Board of Trustees in a posted meeting. It's a transparency issue, Stahl said in a phone interview last Wednesday. It is a violation of the intent of the Sunshine Law. According to the emails, board members Jen Stark, Val Trulson, and Wheelis discussed what questions should be asked of the applicants at the upcoming May 29th workshop meeting. In a May 28th email to Wheelis and Stahl, Stark states she is working with Trulson on a set of questions and scoring systems for the candidates. Wheelis responds with question suggestions, such as asking candidates about their experience and motivation for seeking the position. Since, according to the emails, 3 board members participated in the discussion, it was a violation of the Sunshine Laws, said Ashley Kissinger, a media attorney with the Colorado Freedom of Information Coalition. There's no question it constitutes a meeting, she said. Town boards need to be careful to not email each other about public business and wait to discuss issues at regularly posted meetings. It won't happen again, Wheelis said Friday. Wheelis added that he, Stark, and Trulson mistakenly thought they were doing the right thing by improving the interview process. Seeking and hiring a town manager will be discussed at the next board meeting, June 11th, Wheelis said. At the May 29th board workshop, candidate interviews for the town attorney and a planning and zoning commission were held in public. 2 audience members sat throughout the 2-hour process. Stahl's resignation came just hours earlier, and each candidate was informed of it. The board expects to decide on the appointments at the regular town board meeting coming up on June 11th.
Reported by the Durango Herald with an AP photo. New state laws seek to prevent patients from developing an opioid addiction, expand access to addiction treatment, and direct lawmakers to continue studying the problem for 2 more years. The scope of the opioid problem helped unite the legislature around 6 bills that passed this season, said Joe Hanel, a spokesman for Colorado Health Institute. In 2017, there were more than 1,000 drug overdose deaths in Colorado, and 558 of them were related to opioids or heroin, according to provisional data from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. In 2016, there were about 500 deaths in the state related to opioids or heroin. Governor John Hickenlooper recently signed 5 of the bills. The 6th awaits his signature or veto. Several of the new bills are expected to impact how substance abuse treatment is provided in Southwest Colorado, said Mary Dengler Frey with the Southwestern Colorado Area Health Education Center. Experts described the measures as a good start, but reversing the rising wave of fatal overdoses could take years. Many of those who are overdosing now started taking opioids 12 or 15 years ago and their addiction worsened gradually, said Rob Valek, director of the Colorado Consortium for Prescription Drug Use Prevention. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map from NOAA shows the low pressure coming down from Canada along the Pacific Northwest and northern central states, bringing rain and thunderstorms. The rest of the west and southwest stays dry. An area of thunderstorm potential over southern Nebraska remains in effect today. Now you can see that band of thunderstorms from Texas along the Gulf Coast covers Florida, with that low pressure pushing off the coast. That leaves the southeast dry for now, while continued rains are expected over the Great Lakes region and on east up through New England. In our region, high pressure returns to eastern Utah and western Colorado today. This will bring more hot and dry weather over the next few days, and winds primarily terrain-driven, flowing downhill at night and uphill during the day. Local wind gusts of 25 miles an hour, so it will occur during the afternoon and early evening hours. And this forecast is not entirely dry. Isolated thunderheads may develop over the San Juans and possibly up into the central mountains near the divide this afternoon. The best potential for rains will be east of highways 50 and 550, and generally after afternoon, with low levels drying back out. Temperatures will be moving back up into that 5 to 10 degrees above normal range today and Tuesday, with near normal lows tonight with clear skies and dry conditions. Longer term, a ridge of high pressure will be anchored over the region through the work week, bringing dry and hot conditions throughout the week. A series of waves will move west to east near the Canadian border, well north of our forecast area. Thursday, we may be looking at an increase in fire weather concerns again due to increased winds. Models show increasing moisture moving north from New Mexico, Arizona by the weekend, but there's low confidence in actual rains making it to our region. And now the local 5-day DCTV outlook. Today, sunny with a high near 82 degrees. South-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Tonight, clear with a low around 52. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming east after midnight. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 85. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, becoming south-southwest in the afternoon. Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low around 50. South-southwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, becoming east-southeast after midnight. Wednesday, sunny again with a high near 84. South-southwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 52. Thursday, sunny again with a high near 85, and Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 51. Friday, sunny with a high near 84 again. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 51. And heading into the weekend, it looks like Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high near 84. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 52. And now, back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Fort Lewis College Board of Trustees approved a 5% tuition increase for residents, non-residents, and graduate students at its meeting Friday. Trustees also approved a $51.93 million final budget for 2018-19 that reflected $4.2 million in budget cuts that were finalized in April to deal with declining enrollment. FLC was the only state college in Colorado allowed to increase tuition 5%, with a cap set at 3% for resident tuition increases at the other state public colleges. An exception to the cap was allowed for FLC to adjust for its declining enrollment, which penalized it in the state's funding formula for distributing higher education dollars. The tuition increase will amount to $336 for residents and $840 for non-residents for students taking between 12 to 18 credits. For graduate students, the per credit hour cost of the resident and non-resident students will increase $17 to $354. Despite the tuition increases, FLC's tuition and fees are the second lowest in Colorado, behind Metro State University of Denver. No salary increases were offered to faculty and some staff member for the third consecutive year. However, the college did increase its programs to recruit students and boost enrollment by $750,000. The 2018-19 budget assumes a 9.6% decline in overall enrollment. Fall enrollment for 2017-18 was officially listed at 3,331 students, the lowest number since 2009 during the Great Recession.
From the Journal, courtesy photo, Walker Stapleton, a Republican running for governor, hopes to draw on his 8 years of experience as Colorado's treasurer to improve state's economy. The candidate hopes that the state will be filled with abundant economic activity and is concerned that other candidates may not be able to make that happen. Stapleton spoke with the Durango Herald editorial board by phone on Friday about his campaign issues. He suggested board cuts to state budgets to fund things such as infrastructure and Medicaid. Because the Public Employees Retirement Association has too many unfunded liabilities, Stapleton said he would stop taxpayer funding and reform it to be more fiscally conservative. State infrastructure could be fixed by requiring the Colorado Department of Transportation to disclose its line item budget information, he said. Stapleton has also criticized CDOT for spending too much on administration buildings rather than on roads. Stapleton called the current medical marijuana system fraud and abuse because he feels that medical marijuana does not bring in enough tax revenue. He also said that it is too easy for people who are younger than 21 to get a medical marijuana card. Affordable housing in Colorado is in a supply and demand problem, he said. Stapleton's plan is to incentivize developers who would like to include affordable housing in their developments. He also said working with the private sector could work, such as turning old hospitals into affordable housing units. A supporter of the Second Amendment, Stapleton says that he thinks school safety can be found with armed staff at schools and in having a single entrance to schools. He said he would support red flag legislation that would make it easier for law enforcement to seize weapons from people who are considered a threat. However, he said it would need to not violate due process. He said that the mental health system is underfunded, but did not give details on a possible funding solution. Stapleton is also against sanctuary cities for undocumented immigrants, according to his campaign website. Stapleton will face Greg Lopez, Victor Mitchell, and Doug Robinson in the Republican primary coming up June 26. Ballots for both Democrat and Republican primaries should be mailed out this week, and unaffiliated registered voters can choose to vote for one of the ballots but not on both. The DC Press has a continuing listing of all the candidates on the second page of their weekly newspaper.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo by Greg Sorber with the Albuquerque Journal. On an early Monday morning, 4 helpless, tiny creatures that will eventually become some of nature's top predators found themselves nestled under a commercial airline seat. The Mexican wolf pups, removed from their mother's den in captivity in Missouri a few hours earlier, were destined for wild dens in southwestern New Mexico. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is hopeful that this tactic, called cross-fostering, will aid in the recovery of a species that was nearly eliminated and now numbers just over 100 animals in the United States. The primary goal isn't to increase the wolf population, but to increase the population's genetic diversity. The diversity is lacking because the entire current population descended from just 7 wolves pulled from the wild. The cross-fostering process is incredibly complicated and requires precise coordination by multiple agencies in the United States and Mexico. It begins when Mexican wolves breed in February and March. The 50 or so wolf recovery facilities throughout the two countries that have observed breeding pairs will alert the Fish and Wildlife Service to potential future pups. Females give birth to litters after 63 days, and then things have to move quickly. The captive pups and the wild litter they'll be inserted into can be no more than a few days apart in age. All must be under 14 days old, and the captive pups must be taken from their mother until they're at least 5 days old. While it's fairly easy for the captive facilities to know when a litter has been born, their wild counterparts are a little trickier to monitor. Using radio collars that have been placed on many of the adult wolves in the population, the recovery team will track a female's movement, looking for signs that she may be making a den. Once she's been in the same spot for a couple of days, the team will assume she has had a litter. Captive pups will be matched with potential wild dens. In this case, 4 pups from a litter of 8 born May 7th at the Endangered Wolf Center in Eureka, Missouri, were chosen to be placed in 2 dens in New Mexico's Gila National Forest.
From the Durango Herald, NAP, authorities have released the names of the victims of a triple homicide in northern New Mexico. The New Mexico State Police said Sunday that 36-year-old Abraham Martinez of Dixon, 42-year-old April Brown of Taos, and 27-year-old Kieran Guillermin of Vedito died from gunshot wounds to the head. Police have not commented on a possible motive for the killing of the three, whose bodies were found last Wednesday night in a home near Dixon. Officers have arrested 34-year-old John Powell of Taos and 33-year-old Roger Gage of Arroyo Hondo in this case. They have been charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, aggravated burglary, and conspiracy to commit aggravated burglary. Online court records don't list defense attorneys who could comment on the allegations. I'm sure there will be more updates as information is made available.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 28th through June 3rd. Due to weather conditions and lack of moisture, Stage 2 fire restrictions will go into effect for all BLM Forest Service land in Dolores County today. The rest of the county will remain in Stage 1 for now. Monday morning, a cow was out at mile marker 57 on Highway 491. It jumped back over the fence into its pasture. When the officer pulled up, CDOT was contacted to fix the fence. Monday evening, a cow was out near Cross Canyon. The owner was contacted. Received a report of a livestock gate open and thrown to the side. An officer investigated. Smoke was reported in the Cedar Point area. The officers found nothing when they went to investigate. A deputy assisted a local resident who had locked their keys in their vehicle. And that concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings, June 6th. Eat, Drink, Live United, a slice of summer fun. It's hosted by the United Way of Southwest Colorado from 5 to 8 p.m. Join them at the Dolores River Campground for pizza from Sweetwater Gypsies, live music from the Tomlins, root beer floats from the Dolores Food Market, local beer from Dolores River Brewery, and wine from GST Liquors. There will also be prizes and kids activities. This fun, relaxed event is a great way to kick off your summer and support United Way's initiatives in both Montezuma and Dolores counties. No registration is required. The suggested donation of $10 upon entry. June 9th, the Mo Corp and Cortez Cultural Center present Music Off the Mesa to promote awesome local music of the Four Corners and the great community projects at the Cortez Cultural Center. Families and friends together dress up or down to groove with the 4+1 Mystery Band. They'd like to thank the generous sponsors and awesome musicians. They're also so grateful to all of you to make the Music Off the Mesa possible this summer. Local beer and pizza by a slice by Tabletop Pizzeria is available to purchase throughout the day, and that runs from 12 noon to 9 p.m. Tickets are just $5. June 9th, DRR LLC out of Mancos is hosting the DRR Summer Series starting at 8 a.m. This is the second match of the Dolores River Rifles Summer Series matches. It's $20 to shoot, RSVP to get directions from Cajon, Colorado. Added prizes and payouts, 320 to 1,050 yard range of multiple PRS-style stages, including a canyon rim stage. For more information, visit their Facebook page or online at DoloresRiverRifles.com or call them at 970-658-1932. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us by email, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call the station at 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out through social media on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.